Well, yes, we're the lucky country, but no, Australia hasn't survived the financial crisis by chance. That's the message from our top banker. The Governor of the Reserve Bank says while a lot of hard work has gone into making Australia the envy of the Western world, he's warning it's still possible our economy could suffer serious setbacks. Andrew Robertson reports.
When you think of lucky countries, Greece at the moment doesn't come to mind. Australia does though, and Glenn Stevens unashamedly stole the title of Donald Horne's iconic book for a speech in Sydney, but with a sting in the tail.
We should be very wary of too easily accepting the conventional wisdom. We should never ever assume that bad things couldn't happen here.
Mr Stevens focused on China, the health of Australia's banks and the housing market. On China, he was unconcerned by the drop in economic growth to around 7 to 8%, describing it as a normal cyclical slowing.
It's far better, actually, that some moderation in growth occurred as they have intended, if that means that the future expansion is more sustainable.
As for housing and the idea that housing prices won't fall...
In my opinion, it's a very dangerous idea. It's an idea that's been held too often, that to think that dwelling prices can't fall. They can fall, and they have.
But Mr Stevens doesn't think house prices are heading for a big fall, saying the pressures on the housing market are less now than they were 4 or 5 years ago. The Reserve Bank Governor was also positive about the resilience of the jobs market, despite all those recent headlines about retrenchments.
There are tens of thousands of jobs created and destroyed every month, and we don't read about that because they're in all sorts of small places or industries we don't know much about.
It was that upbeat view of Australia's economic position which other economists took as Mr Stevens' key message.
The Governor highlighted that, no one really knows what shocks are coming our way, but the key is their ability to respond to them. And he said we still have all of our policy ammunition, and a lot of countries around the rest of the world actually have none.
The way I read things was that he's acknowledging that those risks exist, but if anything, the probability and the consequences of those risks materialising has actually declined over the past couple of years.
Forecaster BIS Shrapnel shares Glenn Stevens' optimistic view of Australia's economic outlook and sees the housing industry playing a key role.
We haven't built enough houses for a long time, and so there's a lot of pent-up demand. Furthermore, interest rates have fallen a lot over the past year or so, and we think that gradually households are going to start coming to the party, demanding new houses, and that'll trigger the next round of investment.
This week, though, all economic eyes are on Thursday's inflation figure, which Glenn Stevens thinks will be an annual rate of about 2%, well inside the Reserve Bank's comfort zone.